everyone, it's me, Joanna. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to step away from jewelry for a moment and continue working on this journal cover that I've been working on for some time. I got pretty frustrated with it and stepped aside from it. As you can see, it doesn't look like much right now. It looks a little beat up, and that's because it is. I just had used way too much heat the last time I was soldering and just kind of torched the piece and became really frustrated. Just the solder wasn't moving the way that it typically does, anyway, it was a nightmare. So anyway, I kind of stepped aside and just kind of felt the push to go ahead and work on the journals. So I have 3 here that I'm working on. All the front covers have been worked on and are almost finished. This one I need to add a little plate here. But for the most part, I just need to work on the back covers. And the back cover will be much more simple. I think I'm just going to add a bunch of solder and then use my rubber stamp here to create little embellished designs. So yeah, the idea of the journal is from a miracle in the Bible that talks about when Jesus did his first miracle and he had made water into wine at a wedding. And anyway, so this journal is kind of based off of that. And yeah, so I hope you'll stick around and you'll watch the process and maybe learn something new, or I don't know, find some kind of enjoyment. All right, thanks for stopping by. Okay, so I'm going to add flux all over. And the flux helps the solder flow and move easily. Okay. And then I'm going to use my torch. Just to warm up the piece and prime it. Then I'm going to use my solder iron, which is rather crusty at the moment. I didn't leave solder on the tip, which prevents it from getting all crusty, and so that was my mistake. So in this case, I'm just going to get some chunks of solder here, and then I'm just going to use my torch to heat it up. And we'll do some stamping. I love that I found a rubber stamp that has the grapevine design on it, because it ties in with my idea. So I loved that it all kind of came together. Is that enough? We'll start here. We'll say that's enough for now. Okay, and I will go ahead and use my torch again. Get my stamp ready. Not very much, but the design turned out really nice. So I'll just go ahead and show you what it looks like before I go onward here. This is extremely hot and I don't have any water to quench it, but can you see the design? Once I patina the metal, it'll look different. It'll make the design pop more. But my thought is that for the most part, I'm not going to add like a plate here and more embellishments, but I really kind of want it to be more basic on the back. And I'm thinking, so this is the back cover here. I'm thinking what I'll do is I'll add just some solder here, and I won't do any of the rubber stamping. So it'll be something like this, where it's just the solder kind of smooth, and then I will use my letter metal stamps, and I will stamp in a scripture or some sort of wording that ties in with the theme of the journal. So I hope you'll stick around and hang out for the process, and I hope you'll be inspired in some kind of way. And yeah, thank you so much for spending the time with me, and I will see you next time. Bye. You know, I'm realizing that I didn't put the corner pieces on, and so I'm gonna go ahead and do that while I still have my iron still hot. But they're so cute because they're little grapevines, and I just love how all the little details, they all tie together. So what I'm going to do is actually add some solder on the back. Make sure there's no solder on the platform there. So I'm going to add solder onto the back of these, and just enough. I don't have to do the entire piece, but just enough. And then, since there'll be solder on the back of them, once I lay them onto this piece and use my torch, the heat should just go ahead and kind of suck it down onto the metal, and it should cause it to stay in place. It'll kind of look like glue. Kind of like that idea. Okay. So this is when the fake nails are kind of nice to have. You can use them as tools also. Okay. So I'll just go ahead and get my solder ready. And I kind of have a mess in front of me, so shame on me for not being better prepared. Okay, so just enough, like I said, so it'll give enough solder for it to go ahead and attach itself. I'm at the end of my rope. It is late. I just got off of work. It's almost midnight. I work from home primarily. It's a hybrid schedule, so every other Friday I go into the office, but for the most part I work from home, which in the end is a blessing, but it does have its challenges, most definitely. It's like the laundry is always staring at me. So if I sound exhausted, it's because I am. Said every mom. And every dad. Parents work hard. My husband is very, very hardworking. If you have a hardworking partner, then call yourself blessed. It's not always the case. Okay. So I think what I'll do, because this is giving me just a little bit of trouble, and I don't want this video to get too long, but what I'm going to do is just show you how I'm going to do it. So adding flux. Now remember that these pieces are hot. Okay, get it into the spot that I want. Now I have to keep in mind that eventually I'm going to be poking holes into this piece. And since this is my back cover, this side will be where I will poke my holes. So I want to make sure that I have enough space. I have enough space where I'm able to do that. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And all right, let's not go down. Let's do it just a little bit more for extra measure. All right, should be on there. We'll give it a second for it to cool. Yeah, she's on there. Okay. See, it's not going anywhere. All right, and I'll go ahead and add the other 3, and then I'm calling it a night, y'all. I'm going to bed. And then I'm sure the next time I record, I'm sure I'll sound a little bit more chipper than this. So anyway, I will see you then. Good night.